All right, Boston. This jersey that we wear today, it doesn't say Red Sox. It says Boston. We want to thank you, Mayor Menino, Governor Harmon, for the great job that they did this past week. This is our city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't tell me. I've been on mute for 18 minutes. I've been on mute for 18 minutes, right? Okay, listen. For those, we're gonna edit this thing a little bit, but I'm gonna start all over because it's no use stopping the stream now that I'm here, and now that I've kind of gotten used to this. You just have to watch my mouth move. All you people that were watching, that's okay because you're not gonna see this. You're not gonna see that. Not in the retake. In the retake, that's gonna be edited out, and this is just gonna be the start of this all over again. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, everybody. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to, I'm going to start with, just, I can't believe this. I can't. It happens. I'm going to stop the music. I'm going to put the music back on and bringing that back in. And I wish I could remember my prayer speech. But since I can't, we're going to make that short and sweet. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, it was Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. Yes, sirree. I'm sure you already know that. But if you don't, now you do. Had a little mishap, but we're going to get past that. We're going to do the whole thing over again. And we're going to start off with a prayer. And this prayer, should we have a graphic? Let's put this on. Our prayer. Father, thank you. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for blessing me in so many ways with beautiful children, wonderful children, and a wonderful life. And my life keeps getting better and better each day. But Father, as we go through the day, I would like to ask you to help me and everybody else with getting past the 7 deadly sins of life. What I mean by that is envy, gluttony, greed, sloth, lust, anger / resentment, and judgment / pride. And the reason I say that is because so many times we're told that we have to be proud. We're supposed to be proud of being black. We're supposed to be proud of being this. We're supposed to be proud of being that. And stop it. Okay? That's racial idolatry. See, they're catching you by making you think you have to be proud of something. No, you don't. You have to be proud of being a human. Because as soon as they get you to buy into being proud of something, you start becoming judgmental. And now they got you caught in the sin. And they're going to reel you in. See, all those freedoms and all those special privileges that they tell you that you have are lies. You have to earn everything you get in life. You get nothing by being something. You have to be that something in real life. So, ladies and gentlemen, I ask for God to work with us in getting past the 7 deadly sins so that we can be saved from the clutches of the devil and all of his demons. Get past the clutches of envy, gluttony, greed, sloth, lust, anger / resentment, and judgment / pride. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, first on our list, you know what I got here? Because I practiced this just a little bit before. Yeah, here we go. We sound so happy, don't we? Yeah, the voices in this. Happy birthday, everybody, all you people. Gosh, we sounded so good. You. First on the list we have here is this guy here, David Americo Arias Ortiz, aka Big Poppy, aka Mr. Clutch, aka the Yankee Killer. David Ortiz was born in Santo Domingo of the Dominican Republic on November 18th, 1975. He was born into a protective 2-parent household where he thrived playing baseball. In 1992, at the age of 17, Ortiz was signed by the Seattle Mariners. By 1996, he had established himself as one of the Mariners' best hitting prospects. He batted .322 with 18 home runs and 93 RBIs. And during that year, he beat both Ken Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez in a home run derby, something that did not go unnoticed by a scout for the Minnesota Twins organization, and persuaded his team to swing a trade in which they would say a player to be named later. And that player to be named later was David Ortiz. That's the way he was scooped from the Seattle Mariners. But the Mariners really didn't know. I mean, it's hard to believe they didn't know this guy had talent. I mean, he batted .322, 18 home runs, 93 RBI. That immediately should jump out at you. But they didn't seem to notice. And if you snooze, you lose. And that's what happened to the Mariners. But Minnesota, now that they got this guy, also was somewhat oblivious. See, he wasn't a $1 million baby. He wasn't one of these guys that got a high contract coming out of college or the Dominican Republic, in which he had been followed since he was a kid. No, he wasn't that guy. So the largest organizations pay attention to the people they paid money to. That's right. Not only on the big team, but on the teams in AAA, AA, and single A. People that they have advanced money to. Those are the guys they're watching. And again, David Ortiz went unnoticed. And the Minnesota Twins released him in 2022. Now, upon that, he called his good friend Pedro Martinez. And he said, Pedro, I'm currently unemployed. Can you get me a tryout, something with the Red Sox? And Pedro called up the GM. He said, "Hey, listen, I got a friend of mine, very good hitter. Minnesota let him go. Bring him on, give him a shot." So the Red Sox, wanting to make Pedro happy, keep him happy because he had just tore up the league in 2022. I think it was a Cy Young. Said, okay, bring him in. So they brought David Ortiz in, and he made an immediate impact. Okay, he had .286 with 31 home runs in 2023. 31 home runs while being platooned. Now the guy wasn't being played full time. He wasn't a full time DH or a full time first baseman. He was being platooned, and he still hit 31 home runs. Okay, 31 home runs with the .286 average. So it's kind of hard to make a decision to keep a guy like that, but they did. They made us to say, well, maybe we should, and so they did. In 2004, as a full-time DH, Ortiz had a .301 batting average with 41 home runs and 139 RBIs. You think? Yeah, they just found the man. Okay, and it was in that year that David Ortiz earned the name Yankee Killer and Mr. Clutch, because David Ortiz was known as Big Papi. And this is when he becomes Mr. Clutch, and AKA Yankee Killer. Now, with the Red Sox down 3 games and facing elimination in Game 4 of the 2004 American League Finals, Ortiz singled with 2 outs and the bases loaded to give the Red Sox a 3-2 lead. But the Yankees came back to tie it, and the game went into extra innings. Then, in extra innings, the 14th inning to be exact, he hits a home run to win the game. Now, in Game 5, it was an extra innings, but not the 14th inning. Okay, so it was an extra innings, but not the 14th. Game 5, Ortiz singled with 2 on to give the Red Sox a 1-0 lead in the first inning. He's already knocking in. Whenever you need him to get a hit, he's getting a hit when you need him. He's not hitting into a double play. He's not flying out. He's knocking in runs. So in the first inning of Game 5, he knocks in a run, gives them a 1-2 lead. Of course, that didn't hold. Okay, and down 4-2 in the 8th inning, Ortiz hits a home run to make it 4-3. After the Red Sox tied the game in the 9th inning, Ortiz hits a walk-off single in the 14th to win the game. This guy's getting it done. Now, you would think the Yankees are smartened up by now and realize they probably shouldn't pitch to the guy, but Joe Torre was stubborn. You know those Yankees, a bit arrogant, a bit overconfident. They don't care. They keep pitching to the guy. In Game 7, Ortiz starts off the game by hitting a 2-1 home run in the first inning. And that got the ball rolling, and that was all she wrote. David Ortiz, right there. The Celtics went on to a 10-3 win, due in large part to David Ortiz. The Red Sox did what no team in the history of the sport, had ever done before. They came back from 3 games down to win the series, and they had done it against their hated rival, the New York Yankees. Yes, it made it all the sweeter. Now, 2004, the Red Sox will go on to win the World Series and do it for the first time since they traded away Mr. George Herman Babe Ruth, 86 years before that. Winning the World Series and finally ending the curse of the Bambino. Yes, sirree, Bob. It would happen 2004, and the city was overjoyed. Now, David Ortiz would power the Red Sox to another win in 2007. And in 2013, after the Boston Marathon bombing, in which 3 people were killed and hundreds were injured, David Ortiz became the face of the team when he stepped out onto the field and gave this address to calm the nerves of an angry and hurt nation.
All right, Boston. This jersey that we wear today, it doesn't say Red Sox. It say Boston. We want to thank you, Mayor Menino, Governor Harmon, for the great job that they did this past week. This is our city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong. Thank you.
Yes, David Ortiz implored us to stay strong, the city of Boston. That became the slogan or the watchword for that season. Boston strong. Boston and the Red Sox. Boston Red Sox would go to the 2013 World Series. And you got to hear these numbers. They're incredible. David Ortiz led him into the World Series and won the MVP of the series because he posted an incredible .688 batting average for the World Series with 11 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 7 runs in 6 games, despite being intentionally walked 8 times. 8 times. .688. 11 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 7 runs. David Ortiz. David Ortiz. David Ortiz. David Ortiz is easily considered the greatest DH in the history of the game. He received the Edgar Martinez Award as the league's top DH 8 times. He posted 10 seasons with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. He batted 300 or better 7 times. But it's great, as those numbers were, or are. They pale in comparison to what Ortiz did in the clutch. Yes, Ortiz got hits. Ortiz got singles, doubles, or home runs when you needed them. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he got home runs when you needed to get a home run to tie the game in the 8th or 9th inning. That was David Ortiz. That was David Ortiz. He did the impossible over and over and over and over again for the Red Sox. So, I have to tell you of his approach. Quote, "I am a winner. I play to win. I want to make good things go around me. I try to be as quiet as I can at the plate, but still aggressive." End quote. Mr. Ortiz, you were the... I know Ted Williams hit 400 twice. I know Babe Ruth hit 718 home runs. But I can tell you right now, you're the only guy I want to see at the plate when I need a hit. If I'm a manager of a team, owner of a team, or fan of the team, you're the guy I want to see at the plate when we need a hit. Thank you for the memories, past and present. Please continue to do what you're doing. You're a broadcaster now, I believe, for NBC baseball, and we enjoy your color commentary, especially when you get into it with members of the New York Yankees. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to move on to our next guy, our next birthday boy, and that would be Mr. Cedric Brian Maxwell. Did you know his name was Cedric Brian Maxwell? Well, you do now. Cedric Brian Maxwell was born November 21st, 1955 in Kingston, North Carolina. He put his name on the sports map by carrying the University of Carolina at Charlotte to the Final Four in the NCAA 1977. During the season, he averaged 22 points a game and 12 rebounds per game. In a game against the eventual winner Marquette, Dick McGuire finally won one, Maxwell had 17 points on 5 for 6 shooting with 12 rebounds. As a matter of fact, Maxwell had just scored to tie the game. He took an inbounds play with 10 seconds left, drove to his right, and cut through 2 defenders for a soft shot that went right in. Tied the game with 3 seconds left. But Marquette miraculously scored to win the game, leaving no time on the clock. They scored a 2-pointer on a Jerome Whitehead put in over Cedric Maxwell to win the game. But Maxwell's performance did not go unnoticed. Maxwell was drafted by the Boston Celtics with the 12th pick of the first round. And he came to a team on the down year that had just, and I think they had just went to the finals like the year before, or maybe the year before that. But in this year, 1977 to 78, they were down year and they only won 32 games. Now, the next season, Maxwell became a starter alongside of Tiny Archibald, and he averaged 19 points a game. Not bad for a second-year guy in the NBA. But the team only won 29 games. They actually regressed. But all that would change very quickly because the next season, 1980, he was joined by Larry Bird. That's right, the Larry Bird. And the Celtics went 61-21. So they had Nate Archibald. They had Cedric Maxwell. Now they had Larry Bird, and they went 61-21 and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they lost. They lost to Dr. J, Roby Freed, Bobby Jones, Caldwell Jones, Darryl Dawkins, and then they would go on to lose to the Lakers because they couldn't hold up. They didn't have that team. The Celtics had that team. They should have won. They probably would have beat the Lakers. But in 1981, Max Bird and Archibald, and now with Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, they powered the Celtics into the NBA Finals where they defeated the Houston Rockets for the NBA Championship. And Cedric Maxwell was named the MVP of the Finals, averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds a game with a field goal percentage of 56%. That's where he made his living from, underneath the basket. He was an inside player. And Max would tear you up inside. They'd definitely get into him, and he had all kinds of moves. He did all kinds of moves, and also, not only that, he'd get the foul. As a matter of fact, Max's inside game was unparalleled. He led the league in field. He led the Celtics. I know he led the Celtics, and I think he led the league a couple of those years, from 1979 to 1984 in field goal percentage. He could talk smack, and he could back it up. Now, the Celtics went to finals in 1984 also. And they were playing as Max liked to call them, the Los Angeles Fakers. Now, they had a pretty good team. I mean, they had Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jamal Wilkes, Norm Nixon. I think they had Michael Cooper by that time. They always had a boat. Unbelievable, these guys. And it went to a game 7. Now, Mac could talk smack, and he could back it up because before Game 7, he told the team to climb on his back if they wanted to win. Climb on his back. Max claimed he didn't really say it like that, but climb on his back is the G-rated part, the G-rated portion of it. So Max went out and proceeded to score 24 points with 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block to win the game. He carried them on his back to win the game. Now, Max got injured the very next year, 1985, and fell out of favor with Red Auerbach, kind of a father-son thing that they would reconcile later. But each was disappointed in the other for some unknown emotional reason. And because of that, Cedric Maxwell was traded before the 1986 season for Bill Walton, which led to another Celtics championship. So even in leaving, Cedric Maxwell helped the Celtics. Maxwell retired from the NBA in 1989 and find his way back to the Boston Celtics in 2001 when he became the color commentator for their radio broadcast, a position he still holds today. So Max made his way back to the Celtics, as all Celtics do, and also proven that ex-Celtics may retire from playing, but they never go away. They just regroup and reconfigure themselves to win in other ways. Happy birthday, Mr. Cedric Brian Maxwell. Thank you for the memories. Thank you so much. And thank you for being back. Thank you for your color comment. As a matter of fact, Max, you've gotten better each year. Now you're on television some of the time, so we get to see you there. Thank you. And, I'm going to dig up something for you guys. I'm sure that I have a picture of me and Cedric Maxwell somewhere. I'm going to find it. I'm going to try to find it before the broadcast is over. Now, moving on. Speaking of the Celtics, they defeated the unbeaten Cleveland Cavaliers last night, 120 to 117, and it really wasn't that close. They had a 20-point lead at one time. It got cut down to 2, and then they were up by 10, up by 6, up by 10. Boogie woogie in their way to the end. They were in no danger of losing. Jason Tatum led all Celtics scorers as he usually does, probably led in rebounds too, okay? He had 33 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, okay? 11 for 22. 6 for 10 from the 3-point, and so he was cooking. Then you had Al Horford. He had 20 points. Derek White had 19. Jaylen Brown had 17. Jaylen got to pick it up. Peyton Pritchard came in and did his usual 13. Peyton, you should be getting 20 on these jabronis. Don't let these guys off the hook, okay? When you see Darius Garland out there, you go at him. And nobody else on that team can guard you. Not even the main guy. There's nobody on that team that can guard you, Mr. Peyton. Not Donovan Mitchell, not Jared Allen, not Evan Mobley, and definitely not Sam Merrill. Okay? So, Peyton, you should be getting 20 points a night. Easily. There's no reason for you not to. Next time, do it. Just go ahead and get it done. Jaylen Brown, they probably tried to hamper him with fouls. I'm beginning to sound like Tommy Heinsohn. Yeah, he had 4 fouls. But I'm seeing it with my own eyes. Okay? The NBA does not like the Celtics. They have and this is something that Tommy Heinsohn used to say all the time. They can't stand us. They can't stand the Celtics because we win the right way. We don't have some mega superstar flopping and flipping all over the place and looking for a foul and claiming himself to be royalty. We don't have a player like that on the Celtics. No, we have players. Players who want to make the right play. Players who play together. Players who play defense. Something that faker out there on the West Coast who called himself King James hasn't played in 5 years and will not play defense because, hey, they'll let him get away with it. The NBA doesn't care. And this is what they're trying to promote. They want names. They don't want teams. But here on the Celtics, we have a team. All right. Now that I got that out the way, anything else I need to say on the Celtics? Let me see if I can find something. You know what? We have some things here for you on the Celtics here. Let's just give you the star of the game. Mr. Al Horford scored 20 points. I think he had 20 points and 12 rebounds. And of course, we have this guy, Jaylen Brown. He showed up and showed out. Derek White showed up and showed out. Kristaps Porzingis was not there. And, the guy that I'm looking for, I cannot find. He's not there. Mr. Tatum. Mr. Tatum is not there, but that's okay. We got a picture of Derek White there. And that's his running buddy. Him and Derek White and Jason Tatum are running buddies. They have the symbiotic thing going between them. I don't know what it is. But we are all happy for it. Believe me. Because that's the thing. It's nothing. But we are all happy for it. And here's a shot of Caitlin Clark. She should be playing for the Celtics because she's a team player. And, this is what happens when you want your team to be a team, not crowning somebody royalty. Right, Cedric? Right. Gerald Henderson, part of a team. Now, let's get on to the picks. How did I do? Ladies and gentlemen, how did I do? I'll tell you how I did. Seems like we had a little glitch last week, but we're going to get right to it. The glitch last week was that I only picked 12 games. We had a couple of games that we missed. So I think there was 14 games, but I only picked 12 of them because we had a little glitch with the printer. Now let's get this thing out of the way. So I was 9-3. Terrible. I expect to be more. And the 3 that I lost, they were more like sentimental favorites. I'm just going to give you the ones and let you know how I did it. Washington played Philadelphia. Of course, I picked Philadelphia. Green Bay played, that was a Thursday night game. I got that right. Green Bay played Chicago. I took Green Bay, of course, and won. Jacksonville played Detroit. Of course, I took Detroit. Minnesota played Tennessee. Of course, I took Minnesota. Las Vegas played Miami. I took Miami. And Los Angeles played New England. And of course, I took New England. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. 6 games in a row. Looking pretty good, right? Damn right it was. Until I took Indianapolis against New York. Yes, I did. Actually, I took New York. I heard that they were not going to have Joe Flacco play, and I thought that was going to be. My sentimental Joe. Say it ain't so, Joe. I've lost 4 games on you this year. I'm blaming you, Joe. You're the reason why. Joe, you weren't playing, so I picked New York. And Anthony Richardson had the game of his life. He threw for 272 yards. And that was that. I took Baltimore against Pittsburgh, and I should have took the advice of a Pittsburgh fan who emailed me after I made that pick and said to me, or maybe it was after the game, and maybe it was after Sunday, but it was in a comment that I made. He said, why don't you, he said, Baltimore has not beaten Pittsburgh, I think, in like 2 years, or at home, something to that extent. He said, maybe you should just pick Pittsburgh until something changes. And you are right. Yes, you are right. Next time when they play at home in Pittsburgh, okay, and Baltimore comes into town, I'm picking Pittsburgh, even though I don't like Russell Wilson. I'm picking Pittsburgh. He's going to make a believer out of me yet, okay? He's going to make a believer out of me yet, ladies and gentlemen. Russell Wilson is. So then I lost that one. Atlanta, going into Denver. Okay, maybe somebody else has some inside information that I didn't, but I don't know of anyone who picked Denver to win. But we should have known. We should have known Atlanta. Atlanta always finds a reason to lose. They're just a loser-type town, sports town. When it comes to losing, Atlanta sports teams will find a way to lose. And they lost. Denver kicked the crap out of them. 36-6. I can't make that up. Okay, then I went back. Then I missed Seattle, and so I didn't have that game. That's the game that I missed. Kansas City, going to Buffalo. I took Buffalo to win. Los Angeles, I took them to beat Cincinnati. I was right on that. Dallas against Houston, and so I was right. I really only got one really wrong, and that was Atlanta. That was Atlanta. And Atlanta's that type of team that would do it. Okay, Now that rounds out our days. Oh, we have this. Okay, week 12. Let's get it done, ladies and gentlemen. I make it happen. How long have I been on here? Wow. Sheesh. Well, I'm gonna speed it on up for you guys. Not quite an hour. It's gonna be even less than that after I cut this. The NFL schedule. The NFL schedule for Week 12. Pittsburgh is gonna be playing on Thursday night to Cleveland. I'm picking Cleveland. Why? Because Pittsburgh came off an emotional win. I just keep pinning. Okay, I make this promise. I make this promise, Pittsburgh fans. If Pittsburgh coming off an emotional win and a very hard-fought victory over Baltimore goes into Cleveland and beats them, I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh for the rest of the year. Okay, no doubts about it. I promise you right here and now. If Pittsburgh beats Cleveland in Cleveland after that hard-fought victory, they have championship medal, and I'm going to pick Cleveland for the. I will pick Pittsburgh for the rest of the year, but for this time, they're going to have to show me. So I'm going with Cleveland. Minnesota is going into Chicago. Chicago showed a lot of moxie, but they lost. I'm going with Minnesota. They have to win this game and stay up with Detroit. Detroit's going into Indianapolis. This guy, Anthony Richardson, is a Jekyll and Hyde quarterback. I'm going with Detroit. New England's going to Miami. Tampa Bay is going to the New York Giants, Tampa Bay. Dallas into Washington. Kansas City, who just lost to the Buffalo Bills. They're going to play the Carolina Panthers. Yes. What do you think? Kansas City. Tennessee is going into Houston. I'm taking Houston. Denver's going to Las Vegas. I am taking Denver. San Francisco's going into Green Bay. I am taking Green Bay. Arizona's going to Seattle. Woo, 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 woo. Can they do it? Can Arizona walk into Seattle and beat them? Can they do it? It's a good question. Seattle has looked terrible. Okay. I'm going to go with Arizona. Philadelphia is going to the Los Angeles Rams to take on the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. Baltimore is traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. This is going to be a good game. Who do I have? Well, that's a good question. I am going to go with Los Angeles. Should I? That's a tough. I'm going with Los Angeles. This might be my game ups, my upset of the week, because Baltimore's by 3. Tickets there for that game, you can get them as low as $67. The cheapest ones you can get are $39. Yeah, $39 in New York City. Well, not New York City. We know it's New Jersey, but it's basically New York City. Yeah, the Giants. Nobody's going to see the Giants these days. The highest tickets are in Indianapolis for $223. I think they're feeling themselves in Indianapolis. Detroit's going to Indianapolis, and it has gone crazy. But of course, if you don't want to go to New York City, you can go to Cleveland, which I don't know. Is it an upgrade? I don't think so, but who knows? You can get tickets there for $49. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I have for you. Hopefully, I will go. Let's see. There are a couple of teams on the bye. Atlanta, Buffalo, Cincinnati, New Orleans, New York, and Jacksonville on the bye. So that leaves me with 13 teams. Yeah, so hopefully with 13-0, like I said, take it as advice. Don't bet your house because you're not coming to live with me if you lose. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I say goodbye, good luck, and have a good time. Happy birthday, David Ortiz, which was early in the week. Happy birthday to Cedric Maxwell, which is tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Boston loves you. We love you. Have a good night, everybody, and enjoy yourselves. Oh, have a good day, too. It's a glorious day, another glorious, sunshiny day since the election. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we got our